Mary Queen of Scots' claim to the English throne, a claim that was at the center of so much of the turmoil in her life, came through her grandmother, Margaret Tudor. Margaret was the elder sister of Henry VIII. Margaret Tudor married James IV of Scotland by proxy when she was 13 years old. James was 29. But long before James married Margaret Tudor, he had a mistress, which he had 2 illegitimate children with, and by the late 1400s, he was on his second mistress, a woman named Margaret Drummond. Margaret Drummond spent time at Stirling Castle and Linlithgow Palace, which were both principal residences of the king. James and Margaret Drummond would eventually have a daughter together, who they named Lady Margaret Stuart. In 1501, Margaret Drummond was at her family's castle in Perthshire with 2 of her sisters, Sybilla and Euphemia. What happened next became the source of suspicion, rumor, and even revisionist history. All 3 of the Drummond sisters died on the same day of what is believed to be food poisoning. Some stories say that a poisoned dish was served at breakfast. Another story said that poisoned sacrament was given to them during a morning celebration for Holy Communion. Rumors also swirled that Margaret Drummond and James were secretly married, and that the death of Margaret Drummond was organized either by English agents or by pro-English nobles that believed that Margaret needed to be eliminated in order for James to marry Margaret Tudor. Another theory was that it was actually Euphemia's husband. Margaret Tudor herself wrote about the sisters in a letter 21 years after their death. For the Lord Fleming, for the evil will that he had to his wife, caused to poison 3 sisters, and one of them his wife, and this is known of truth in all Scotland. The women were buried in Dunblane Cathedral. James paid £20 annually for 2 priests to have masses held for Margaret Drummond's soul. In 1873, 372 years after Margaret Drummond had passed away, the Earl of Perth placed new plaques on the tombs of the Drummond sisters near the altar in Dunblane Cathedral. On the plaques, the rumors of poisoning and of James and Margaret Drummond's secret marriage are engraved. There is no evidence to the truthfulness of these words. It also states that the Drummond sisters were buried beneath the slabs that the plaques lie on top of, while the reality is that the women were probably buried in the Drummond aisle of the cathedral, which is dedicated to St. Nicholas.